All right, so what's good, everybody? You already know. We got to get into this ESPN 150 player list. Now, we're not going to go through the whole list, obviously, because after a certain number, we don't really give a fuck, right? So let's just get to start with this top 10. So the first thing that jumps out to me at this top 10 list is not really who's not on it, but who is on it. And I've never been a hater, okay? It's nothing, it's not an ounce of hate flowing through my blood. And if y'all don't believe me, I promise you, I'm willing to go to any doctor, go get my blood checked. You're not gonna find hate. A lot of y'all motherfuckers, hate is flowing through y'all, like, for real. But that's neither here or there. Let me just say this. How the fuck is Shea Alexander Gilchrist? Did I say his name right? How is Shea on that list? He's a top 10 player in the NBA. That's wild. That's the first thing that jumps out at me. The second thing that jumps out at me is how is that fifth? Um, he's not the fifth best player in the NBA. In fact, I would honestly put him at number one. I think he's the best player in the NBA. Okay. Um, Another thing, Joel Embiid is not the third best player. I don't give a fuck about no MVP. If y'all care about the MVP, that's fine. Like, we're all entitled to our own opinions, but he's not a top 5 player in the league. Jason Tatum, get him the fuck up out of here. He's not a top 10 player in the league. This is wild. Now, it is important for us to understand the grounds of the list, right? So it was like, okay, are these players ranked at these numbers because of what they project them to be this year? Is it their whole career? That really matters. But, for me, I just look at it overall, okay? Another thing that got me another level of tight is Kyrie Irving not being in the top 10. That's wild to me, okay? That's really wild to me. Because at the end of the day, I'm the type of dude who feels like this. You only got to prove yourself to me one time. Prove yourself one time to show me where you at. And that's where I'm going to put you, okay? Anthony Davis, not a top 10 player. Sorry. I'm sorry, okay? I would want, in my list, I would want to put Kawhi in that top 10, but obviously there's, reasons why I wouldn't put him in the top 10. But then again, it's like, are we going to sit here and talk about his injury? So at the end of the day, he is in the top 10. So anyway, here's my list, all right? Number 1 is going to be Steph Curry, okay? Number 2 is going to be LeBron James. And listen, let me just say this real fast, just to clear everything up. The reason why I will put Steph Curry number 1, obviously over LeBron and over everyone else, is because I feel like we haven't even seen the best Curry. Like, when you think about when Kevin Durant came to the Warriors, right? Who respectfully, I'll leave him in the top 10, okay? But when you think about when he came to the Warriors, we saw Steph take a back seat. So, and think about today's modern NBA. Like, really think about it. All of these elite players are teaming up with other elite players. Steph hasn't had that besides when Kevin Durant came and he took a back seat because at the end of the day, he was like, all right, listen, I don't have nothing to prove. Clearly, you want to get a ring. That's why you came over here hopping on our dick, respectfully. So I'm going to let you, pretty much do all the work. Like, I don't have to work. I'm going to still get my rings. Okay? And after he left, people were still sucking Steph off like, oh, you a dub, no finals MVP. Like, all right, well, let me show y'all something. And he went and won the ring and got finals MVP. So, yeah, he's number 1 to me. But anyway, finishing that thought. The reason why I put him number 1 is because he hasn't had a chance to play with other people that is just as elite with him as him, besides Kevin Durant, obviously. But all these other players, they have so many other players that can make them, have the ability to focus on being themselves. Now, I'm pretty sure that somebody in the comments is gonna say some stupid shit like, "Oh, he had Klay Thompson." First of all, shout out to Klay Thompson. But Klay Thompson was able to do what he did, and he had a great career. He's an elite player. I'm not gonna play with Klay Thompson. This dude got the OD and Blake. Like, he let that shit go. But I feel like Klay Thompson was only able to become Klay Thompson because Steph Curry, again, has that type of vibe that's like, hey man, you can do it too. Like, look at it like this. Like, LeBron just said a few days ago that Anthony Davis was the face of the Lakers, right? Now, although we all understand that LeBron was capping and he doesn't actually believe that, the main point here is that he just wanted Anthony Davis to feel comfortable with being who he has the potential to be. That's the only reason he had to say that, and it's wild for him to even have to say that. Like, you know, that it's even wild for him to even have to say that. Like, this nigga Anthony Davis needs motivation. What the fuck? Why you need motivation, bro? Like, why do LeBron need to say this or say that? You know, but you know he's very questionable. So he's like, listen, think about everybody who's in that top 10, right? Matter of fact, don't think about that. Think about this. Last year, when the Denver Nuggets played, or was that this year? Well, last finals, when the Denver Nuggets played against the Western Conference Finals, when they played against the Lakers, right? Word to everything I love, Anthony Davis was killing. What? I don't know what else y'all want me to say. He was killing. He was being who he was, in my opinion. Y'all can beg to differ, but go look at the numbers. He was actually killing. And it's a very scary sight when you're killing, but somebody else, and there's somebody else we all know is the Joker, right? He wasn't actually killing. Like, okay, it would appear that he's killing, so I don't want to confuse you guys. What I want to say is, I don't feel like he even played to his maximum potential. I feel like he went light on Anthony Davis. And it's like, Anthony Davis was going mad hard. So it was like, you going hard versus him going light, and he scorched you. It was almost like the best Anthony Davis could play is so far from being enough. Like, it's just so far. Like, it's nowhere near enough. So it's like, how is that guy in the top 10? Y'all get what I'm saying? Anthony Davis is a major dub. Okay? LeBron has to, listen, I understand they won a championship in a bubble, but let me go ahead and say this about the bubble, okay? People in this country, and matter of fact, all around the world, I'm not even going to say this country, all around the world, right? They were mentally unstable. Like, why is people not talking about that? So, that ring didn't really count to me. I'm sorry. Like, it counts for LeBron's legacy and all that, but, you know, because obviously, you know, I'm just going to count it because I don't want y'all niggas coming at me in the comments or whatever, but as far as Anthony Davis goes, it's like, all that shit you was doing is like, do that against a mentally stabilized league. He can't do that. So, I don't see how y'all putting this dude in the top 10. Now, respectfully, would I put him in the top 20, top 25? For sure. I'm not hating on Anthony Davis. We already established I don't hate. I just speak how I feel. So he's not a top 10 player. Shea, get him the fuck out of here. That's wild. Like, now let me go ahead and say this about Shea, because This is just how I talk. So don't make y'all. I don't want y'all to think that this is me hating. No, this is just how I talk. You know, this is how we talk in Coney Island. All right, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. This is how we talk. So don't take it personal. All right. First of all, let me start off by saying this: Shea is another level of nice. He literally averaged 31 points last season. That speaks for itself. That little nigga is nice. I'm a fan of Shea. Okay, but Bradley Beal averaged what, like 31 on the Wizards? Did they put him as a top 10 player? Like, what the fuck made Shea a top 10 player? Okay, he averaged 31 and he made first team All NBA. First of all, how did he do that? Like, who put him as a first team All NBA? Who did that? Because John Morant wasn't a first team All NBA player. Y'all put Shea over him? Okay, look, I don't even want to get off track, but my whole point was, I'm not hating on Shea. I think he's another level of nice. He's not a top 10 player. He's not. I don't even know if he's top 15 or 20. I don't know, like, but he has the potential to be, because I definitely like him more than Anthony Davis. But you gotta prove yourself, bro. Like, that list is really wild. Like, for real. Joel Embiid, I'm dropping him to... Look, honestly, I don't know if he's a top 10 player. Yes, the MVP. I don't think... First of all, any player who chases the MVP is not a real MVP. Again, this is my opinion. You're chasing an award that naturally should come to you. You know, when it's like, I watched him play. I love the NBA. Why are you fading away like you're Kobe Bryant? Why the fuck are you doing that, bro? That throws me off. Because look, it's like, there's two types of players. There's niggas who's actually nice, and there's people who think they nice. You know, and it shows. So when you look at a dude like Allen Iverson, right? He don't think he nice. He's actually like that. His natural game is just crazy, okay? But when you look at somebody like Joel Embiid, he gives me like Batum vibes. Shout out to Batum, you know what I'm saying? That was the first dude who felt like, yeah, I'm Kobe. And got cast out for it. So shout out to Batum. Like, Nicholas Batum, I think, whatever. But he give me Batum vibes. Just, it's like, if you're nice, we're going to obviously observe that. But he's like, oh, look, let me show you I'm nice. Why are you taking fadeaways, bro? Why are you at the three-point line? Like, I understand, like, it's a new NBA and big men are shooters now, which is wild to me. But at the end of the day, I don't even see him, like, in the category as a shooting type of big man, because in my opinion, he got too much weight on him. So it's like, you don't move fast enough. Laterally, you have too much weight, bro. So it's like, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Like, listen, I'll never forget when I was younger, right? Like, I would never forget watching Shaq play. Like, I would never forget that. Like, it was almost like watching a stand-up. Like, when we used to watch Shaq play, like, we didn't watch it because it was fun basketball. We watched it because it was like, watching Shaq play is no different from watching Dave Chappelle do a stand-up. He's gonna have you dying laughing. Like, seriously. Like, we used to all sit in the living room, and like, when they threw him the ball, my man would just turn around, elbow whoever's right there, yam it on you, push you on the floor. It's like, that shit was mad funny. I'm like, wow, it's like, y'all niggas dead ass can't stop this nigga, bro. It's mad funny. Like, obviously a lot of rules changed, but, you know, when I look back and I think about it, it's like, yo, Shaq is really that dude, bro. Because he's like, nobody can stop me when I'm doing this. So why do anything else? And it's like, Embiid is like 7 foot. The nigga weigh mad. I don't even know his official weight, but he's heavy. You know, and it's like, bro, you can just get the ball in the post, turn around, and just dunk on people. Like, why don't you do that? Like, and you got the advantage over Shaq because you can shoot free throws. Like, my son Shaq really averaged like 35 in the playoffs without making free throws. Like, think about that. That's wild. What do you think he'd average if he could actually knock down free throws? Okay? But this ain't about Shaq, okay? Because we're going to have another conversation about where he's at in the in a GOAT conversation, okay? But it's about Embiid, okay? So when you look at somebody like Wembanyama, right? Like, he gives me more Kevin Durant vibes, although, you know, he's much taller than Kevin Durant, but it don't really matter. Y'all both are like really tall, and y'all play outside beyond the 3-point line. But, you know, very skinny, very light, very fast move. So like I can understand that. You know, Embiid is just too slow. You know, and then he listen, all those things just don't add up to me. He's not a top 10 player in the NBA right now. All right, you don't have to like it, but that's just how I feel. Moving along, we gotta talk about Giannis. Giannis for sure is number 3. And let me say this. I fully 100% understand why they got him at number 1. I really do. I can't even argue it. I'm just saying I'm putting Steph number 1 in my opinion. Because again, give Steph, like, okay, so how about this? Giannis has got Damian Lillard. They're winning a chip. That's a fact. You know, it was like, it really is simple math. Because think about this. First of all, he already won a chip. Had 50 in the finals. And sent them boys home. With the finals MVP. I believe he got like the defensive player of the year as well. He got like multiple league MVPs. So it was like, he's not regular. Y'all get what I'm saying? So when you think about Jokic, right? Jokic to me is another level of amazing. But I don't look at it like Jokic won the championship. I look at it like the Denver Nuggets won it. When I think about the Bucks, they didn't win the chip. Giannis won that ring, bro. Real shit. So it was like, now that he got Dame, it's clipped. The whole floor is gonna be wide open. They're gonna like Dame is gonna bring that Warriors system to the Bucks because the court is gonna be so wide open. Like the moment Dame crosses half court, and here's something that y'all really have to take into consideration. Okay, think about when LeBron went to Miami, right? Really think about that and understand this. When LeBron went to Miami, they both understood. Like, but LeBron and D Wade both 100% understood. And maybe it took a year for them to understand it, but they understood it. That, yo, you like that, bro. Now, the reason that's so powerful is because, yeah, like, okay, like, when you think about the Phoenix Suns, right? And I don't want y'all to think I'm jumping all over the place. This is just how my mind works, right? They're a major dub. The Phoenix Suns are a dub, okay? Shout out to Book, shout out to KD, shout out to Bradley Beal. But, like, Kevin Durant doesn't have that respect for Booker the way LeBron had that respect for D Wade. Booker doesn't have that respect for KD the way D Wade had that respect for LeBron. That really matters. And neither one of them, Booker and Durant, have the respect for Bradley Beal, which is wild to me, but they just don't have that respect. But me personally, I would pick Bradley Beal over Devin Booker. Like, my man is a bucket. Listen, at the end of the day, let me say this. You average 30 in the league, you are in a separate category. And keep this in mind, Iverson did that 4 times. Yeah, that's wild, right? Iverson averaged 30 points or more in a full NBA season 4 different times in his career. Now, if you're probably like, okay, what? Okay, I think Kobe did it like, what, 3 times? Jordan did it 8 times. Wilt did it 7 times. So, Iverson did it 4 times. LeBron did it 3 times. LeBron did it 3 times. KD probably did it like 2 or 3 times. So, no, Devin Booker has never done that. So at the end of the day, Bradley Beal is my choice if I had to pick between them two. Even though that wasn't a question, I just had to throw that in there. Anyway, getting back to the point. They don't have that respect, right? And I say all that to say this. We already saw how much Giannis respects Damian Lillard before he even got to the Bucks. Remember, if you go back to the All-Star game, I forgot what year. It might have been last year, the year before last. When they had, I forgot. First of all, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, that was like his first pick. Like when they had captains and Giannis had a pick, he picked Damian Lillard first. So that right there shows you he's looking at Dame like, nah, this little dude is OD nice, okay? Second of all, after they made the picks, I'll never forget, because Jrue Holiday was an All-Star that year, right? So he could have picked Jrue Holiday first. But, after the picks, during like the media, they ran down on Giannis and they're like, yo, why you pick Dame first? Like, you had Jrue Holiday there and a list of mad other names, to be honest with you. And basically, Giannis is like, he's going to close out the game for us. What? This is what Giannis said. I picked him first because I know he's going to bring us home. That's another level of respect. And you already know Dame has the ultimate respect for him, because I would have never expected Dame to say this, but he's like, he's better than me. Like, Dame is a real one. So Dame has the ultimate respect for Giannis. So here's why that's so powerful. When you have that ultimate respect for your teammate, right? That means that allows your teammate to be comfortable with being himself. So I say all that to say, because we already know Giannis respects Dame, and Dame is a lethal weapon. Shout out Danny Glover. Right? That means the moment, like when the season starts, especially getting into the playoffs, but the moment Damian Lillard crosses half court, you have to guard him. Why? Because Giannis is fully going to understand if you let that bitch go. And the last thing any team is going to want is for Damian Lillard to get hot. Listen, this is so crazy. He averaged 32 points a game last year, by the way, Damian Lillard. And Giannis averaged like 30 points as well, okay? Here's the crazy thing about Dame. I will never forget what he did. I think it was to the Denver Nuggets in the bubble. But that one game was defined his whole career to me. And here's what I mean. Let's take that one game away, right? Damian Lillard reminds me of my older cousin, Stephon Marbury. And the reason he reminds me of him is because it's like they are very conservative. And I hate that for Damian Lillard. I feel like it's like, like Dame and Curry is like Steph and AI, right? Because AI, when he got to the league, it's kind of like, I made it to the top. And it's like, now that I'm at the top, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Although he's been doing that before he got to the top. So, but y'all get the point. He didn't let the systems of the NBA or the coaches or the team define his game. He went out there and did what the fuck he wanted to do, then went back to the block, all right? Steph, on the other hand, made it all the way there and said, okay, I made it to the top. Let me focus on being a team player. Let me focus on doing what I think a point guard is supposed to do, right? And it's kind of like Steph didn't have that mentality at Lincoln. Steph had a mentality like, I'm about to scorch all of y'all. Like, that's just what I'm going to do, okay? Although he was a natural point guard at first, but it's like, we want to see you unleash, right? Like, I'll never forget that All-Star game. I forgot what year, of course, but Steph and AI's on the same team, and Kobe's on the West, and it was like crunch time, and Steph and Kobe was going at it, right? And I'll never forget, because like Steph came down court, he didn't even think about Iverson, whoever else was on his team. I think he had Vince Carter or whatever. He was just letting that bitch go. He was literally letting it fly. Cash. Kobe come down. Boop, boop, boop. Cash. Steph come back down. Boop, boop, cash. And it's like, that was the one little moment I felt like that was Steph, like, unleashed. Right? So, going back to Damian Lillard, it's like, you know, I feel like he's so conservative because his focus is kind of like on making sure, you know, not necessarily making sure we win, but making sure I'm protecting everybody else, if that makes sense. It's hard to really explain it, but it's like, that's really what I feel like his focus is, right? So when you got him on a team with like somebody like Giannis, it's kind of like, oh, like I could go crazy now. Because when you look at Giannis, he just goes crazy. Giannis just does what he does. And that brings me back to the game when Damian Lillard was in a bubble playing against the Denver Nuggets. Like, he was doing what he does. He was unleashed that game. I honestly, like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, think about James Harden. When James Harden dipped from the Thunder and went to the Rockets, right? He started violating the league. Because it was like, I could do what I want now. Like that man averaged 36 points a game for one season. That's like the second or third highest average in like NBA history. Like the only one who averaged like that much was like Jordan, and Kobe averaged like 35. This man averaged 36 points. So I personally feel like if Dame came out, right, and this is on the Blazers obviously, because I don't see him having the ability to do that on the Bucks, but if he had that mentality on the Blazers, like, fuck everybody, I'm about to just go crazy, I personally feel like, and I'm not capping, this is word of my mother, I truly feel like from the bottom of my heart, he could have averaged 40 points. I really feel that way. I really feel like he could have averaged 40 points a game. Like, seriously. But now that he's on the Bucks, it's like, I feel like he gets to unleash, but it's a different type of unleash, because it's like, you know, it's like, I can count on, like, to all the real hoopers out there, right? You know what it's like, all right, I'm about to go crazy. Like, we're not about to play that game. I'm about to bust whoever's guarding me ass, pause. Like, yeah, I'm about to scorch y'all niggas. But it's like, if I come down and I do some crazy shit, I go crazy and like throw a crazy pass and a nigga break. It's like, what the fuck? That nigga just gave me tight, bro. Like, what's up? Wait, y'all in the league too, right? Nigga missing, air ball, hit the side of the backboard, like. But when he playing with somebody like Giannis, it's kind of like, oh, he gonna make me look like he gonna make me look like you were already in a lose-lose trying to guard me, right? But obviously, when you're the main focus, they sending 2 guys at you, 3 guys at you. They're setting up their whole defense to slow you down. You can't do that with Dame, because it's like, obviously, when he cross half court, he's a threat, right? But, you know, he's not a bigger threat than Giannis dunking the ball. I mean, it's just a higher percentage shot, so obviously That's the main threat. So if you're in a situation where it's like, fuck that, we can't focus on Dame right now. We gotta still focus on sending 2 or 3 guys at Giannis. That means Dame is open, right? And we've seen that happen before. That's how the Warriors won 2 chips back to back, possibly 3 if KD didn't get hurt. But shout out to Kawhi because he went crazy. But look, let me just say this. I saw an interview with was that Tyrone Lue, right? That's who was coaching the that's who was coaching the Cavaliers. Tyrone Lue said out of his own mouth. If you don't believe me, you can go and Google it. Okay, go look on YouTube, type in Tyrone Lue interview about the Warriors. Okay, he said it out of his own mouth. Tyrone Lue said, "Our defense was 100% focused on not letting Curry go off." Remind you, they had Kevin Durant. So their focus was not on Kevin Durant. This is a fact. This is what the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers is saying. We're focused on Stephen Curry. And that's how KD was able to average 35, right? And get them MVPs. So just imagine, right? Like Kevin Durant was in heaven. Because it's like, I'm not used to this. It's almost like he was back, in the seat pleasant, just playing against regular people. Like, although it was LeBron guarding him, right? But it don't matter who's guarding him if it's only one person. It don't really matter. So that's the whole point I'm trying to say about Dame, because it's like, wait a minute, like, we already know no matter who they play, the main focus for every team is stopping Giannis. That's going to be the main focus. Don't let him go off. And he's somebody that you need 2 or 3 people to guard him, just like Steph, right? Because Steph running over here, he's running over here. So it's like everybody on the court gotta be aware of where Steph Curry is at. And it's like that one little second is like, wait, KD just crossed my man up and just went in for the dunk. Damn, I forgot about him. So Dame, I feel like it definitely could. I think they both can still average 30 points a piece again. And I feel like they're going to win the finals. Because you have to understand something. Giannis is somebody who him and Joker remind me of one another. Although I feel like obviously Giannis is better than Joker, but this is my opinion, okay? But I feel like they don't have emotions. So they don't have emotions if they don't have pride. They just do the job. So Giannis is kind of like, not only is he somebody who, like, you really got to focus on figure out how the fuck am I going to stop this non-stop going machine, like, 7 feet Iverson, but also it's kind of like, how do I focus on making sure my players get off? Because he be stopping people, bro. Like, as hard as he go on offense, it's as hard as he goes on defense. And that really matters. So, it was like, that's the same thing Kevin Durant went through. It was kind of like, damn, we got to focus on Curry, right? Now, although Curry, people will argue and say he's like a defensive liability, but the other second thing for him besides him taking all the focus on offense is kind of like, he was so unselfish. You know what I'm saying? And being that unselfish gives your teammate the ability to get comfortable, which allows them to get hot, right? And that pretty much explains Klay Thompson's whole career. Like, if Steph was selfish and really was about himself, we wouldn't even be talking about Klay Thompson right now. So, I kind of got lost in the sauce. But getting back to that top 10 list, who else do we have in that top 10? Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is not a top 10 player right now in the NBA. He's really not. You know, it's like he's just not. I mean, he's just not. I don't know like how to explain that. But and again, this is not me hating, and this is not me saying he's another level of nice. There's over 300 players in the NBA. There's like 30 teams. So to not be in the top 10 is no knock against you. You can still be another level of nice, in my opinion. And in my opinion, Jason Tatum is another level of nice. He's OD nice. He's really like that. Like, I literally saw this man shut KD down and bust his ass. Like, and it's like, he's really like that. But it's kind of like, come on, bro. He's not better than Kyrie Irving. We know this already. We know this already. Now, speaking of Kyrie Irving, they got Luka Doncic number 4. Whoa. Now, let me be clear. Luka Doncic is 100% a top 10 player. Luka Doncic is 100% like that. But putting Luka Doncic at number 4 is 100% giving head. Okay? He's not the 4th best player in the league right now. He's not. He's not. Like, he's really not. Because here's what you need to understand. When you get to that level, right, it's like, see, when you think about Iverson, right, he's not the same as Luka Doncic because Iverson did not stop moving. So it's like, that's what makes him special, right? Luka Doncic reminds me of James Harden. Oh, you're this, oh, you're that, but it's like, you're not nothing if you don't have the ball. And not only are you not nothing if you don't have the ball, you're not nothing if you don't have the ball in a particular spot or during certain times of the games, like in transition, right? Like at the top of the key. You know what I'm saying? It's like, other than that, like you're really not like that. But so let me just say this. He's definitely a top 10 player, but I got Steph number 1. I got LeBron number 2, right? Number 3, I got Giannis, okay? Number 4, I will put the Joker, right? Number 5, I will put Kevin Durant. So that right there is my top 5, all right? 6 through 10, number 6, I would probably go with, I really want to say a name, but I know y'all gonna try to like flame me. But I would go with Luka. I would put Luka number 6. Yeah. Steph. Did I say Luka? No, I didn't. Steph, Braun, Giannis, Joker. Damn, who did I just put number 5? Did I say Luka? I don't know. I gotta look at the list. But I'll see y'all in the next video. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, share, support, and let me know how y'all feel about how I feel. And I'm gonna jump in the comments, respond to y'all, and we can just get crazy from there. Pause.